Hello guys, this is Felipe from the Noob Trader, and on today's video, I'm going to talk about this, what we see on the screen here. Crazy dump in the price of gold. Um, right now we're trading at 1805, but I mean, the day opened at around 45. So yeah, basically we've seen a 40-point drop. Pretty crazy. Going to talk about what's going on. Again, there was a fundamental reason as to why this is currently happening. That's why it's so important to understand fundamentals when trading the gold market, especially on longer term time frames. We're going to go through it, going to discuss what I think, what I think about the news, where I think gold is going to go, and what I'm hoping to really see. So let's get into it. So the last gold video I did a video on how we, broke essentially past this 1830 barrier or this price range that we had, previously not been able to get past 3 times. And we finally got past on the day chart, and what I was really personally hoping to see was that, yes, that we would kind of correct back and make the 1830 level support. And we were kind of on track to do that, as you can see here. We were seeing a few days of, slightly negative price action, but everything was kind of looking really good until the news came out today. Now, what is the news that's actually caused this crazy dump in the market? And let me be clear, it's not just the news that's causing this, but it's the news followed by obviously people getting liquidated because people were leveraged long. So that's what causes this cascading effect. If we look at the hourly chart, for example, sorry, that's a 2 hour. If we look at the hourly chart, we just get this huge cascading effect here, right, of people just getting liquidated. That's what happens, right? When something negative starts happening in the market, price will start to shift down, and before you know it, people start getting liquidated out of their long positions because they're leveraged in the gold market, and we start getting this waterfall effect. Okay, but what really actually caused this? Well, if you guys have been following news at all, what happened is that Powell actually was renominated again for a 4-year period, I believe, to now continue leading the Fed, leading the central bank of the United States. Now, what does this actually mean? Because you could ask yourself, well, isn't this actually a good thing for the gold market? I mean, Powell's been super slow to do anything about all the crazy inflation that's going on. We know that right now in the current economic situation with the gold market, that when inflation every time we get, bad inflation news, which right now is super regular because of everything that's going on with the coronavirus pandemic, the supply shortage worldwide, just the money printing, all those different reasons that we've talked about on this channel before, we know that Powell doesn't really do anything about it, right? He's very slow and he's very conservative in the way that he's actually attacking the inflation problem, right? We've only just started tapering, okay? And we're still going at a very slow rate. He's very slow at announcing his plans, right? Meaning that the market has a lot of time to digest the plans that he has, right? At the moment right now, the market's not even sure if we're going to raise interest rates, which are basically close to zero right now in the United States. It's 0.25%. The market isn't even sure if we're going to raise them in the middle of next year, despite the crazy inflation, right? And there's a good chance that that could get pushed back. Okay, who knows what's going to happen with the virus and all those different things. So you could say that, well, isn't this actually a good thing for the gold market? And I, in the longer term time frame, I'm definitely think yes. Okay, I really think that having Powell here is ultimately still going to be good for the gold market because the inflation problem is going to continue to be an issue, even though that the jobs data and all those types of things, all those other kind of economic indicators are coming back, showing that there is some strength coming back into the U.S. economy. But I think overall that, just the way that Powell has been implementing monetary policy, it's going to be good for the gold market because inflation is going to continue to soar. I don't see that changing over the coming months. However, in this very short-term time frame, right? I mean, this news only got announced, a couple hours ago, whatever it was. Well, it was announced, yeah, maybe like 4 or 5 hours ago. I don't remember anymore. But the point is that in the short term, this is actually a negative thing for gold because the fact that Powell isn't going, is very conservative with his monetary policy, very slow to raise interest rates, is also extremely good for the stock market. Okay. And basically for people to start putting their money in more risky investments, right? Let's take a look at the stock market, or the SP 500. We have reached an all-time high today. Okay, a record high for the S&P 500. And just look at this chart. There was that period, right? Remember, like a couple weeks or even a month or so ago, when, it really looked like that we may have been seeing a reversal in the stock market. But I've said this for the longest of time on this channel, and I still believe this. Powell has, there's too many people that are going to get hurt if Powell starts doing crazy things with the interest rates. Powell knows this, and Powell is also keeping his position ultimately, as we've seen by this reelection, by allowing the stock market to just continue, for allowing the dollar to just inflate, and for just people to continue to make money on the stock market. The last thing that Powell needs to see right now for this economy is a stock market crash, okay? And leading to just a bunch of Americans essentially fucked, okay? So if this type of news is so positive for riskier, uh, riskier investments, such as putting your money into stock market over, let's say, the gold market, obviously the gold market's going to pull back. At the same time, you also have a situation where in Powell, right, there's a sense of continuation. So with the sense of continuation, right, and like I said, he's been very, very clear and very, very slow about how he's implementing his plan. I think it ultimately as well does provide a little bit of confidence in the dollar, which is what we're seeing here on the DXY. Right? The DXY, we're hitting very, very high levels that we haven't seen now for essentially over a year, right? Over almost a year and a half now, right? We're approaching the DXY after we made the 93.5 range support. We had that classic pullback, step pattern pullback, and now we've just continued higher and higher. And we really want to see now if we're going to break past what is this kind of very, very crucial, let's draw this actually out here, very, very crucial $97 price range. Okay, that's what we're seeing right now in the DXY. And what I would say is we're probably going to see a pullback here. And that's what I'm saying. Ultimately, yes, perhaps in this very, very short term, Powell's, um, the extension of Powell as the leader of the Fed for another 4 years or whatever it is, right, is negative for gold in the short term. But I really think, again, this is another good opportunity to potentially take advantage, if you're a longer term gold investor, to take advantage of these lower prices. Okay. The DXY is going to retrace, right? You can't forget that things don't just go up forever, right? People are going to take profits on the dollar soon. This is a really, really strong run up that we've seen. Okay. And again, every time that we have inflation news right now, right, which is regular, we have CPI data come out once a month, all those different things. When Powell speaks, okay, um, we're going to see, I think we're going to see positive movements in gold, and we're going to see potentially some, you know, um, pullbacks, for example, in the stock market or whatever it may be, right? But we're going to see bullish push-ups in the price of gold, right? So take advantage of these opportunities right now. That's what I would highly, highly suggest. Whether you're kind of doing more swing trading types of things, or if you're actually trying to invest in the longer term, looking for gold to eventually break past the all-time high that is set, back approximately now it's been a while, now almost 2 years ago, right? So in the short term, what I would like to see in terms of gold price, I would really like to see if we can make the 200-day support here, which coincides perfectly with 1800. Okay, yeah, I know we've seen a strong pullback. We just totally crashed through the 1830 support range, right? Or the range that we wanted to make support. Let's see if we can actually hold above 1800 for now. If not, there's a good chance we'll be going lower towards 1780 or even 1760 or 1750. But again, I really think that any prices of like 1800 and below is a good price to be getting into gold for a swing trade position. We've been seeing this consistently over the last few months. I don't see this changing again, especially with inflation news. So don't miss out on any potential buying opportunities here. Okay, just because of some news which has caused a liquidation event in the gold market. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. If you have any questions, definitely leave a comment down below. If you liked my analysis, consider giving it a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video.